Thanks for checking out Wayne.com for a semi-state edition of Inside the Zone. Justin Kenny of the News Sentinel joining us this week, as always, and 4 teams alive at this point in the season. Some of them you would have predicted perhaps at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Others maybe not so much. We're going to start in 3A, where we will have a local team play in the state championship game. We're talking about Concordia traveling up to play Garrett at Memorial Field this coming Friday night. How do you see this matchup playing out? Both playing their best football perhaps at the right time of the year.
Yeah, after Concordia put up a 62 spot against West Lafayette last week, it is very tough to see Garrett slowing down that offense. I think they have a shot, but man, the way Concordia is rolling right now, it looks like a machine offensively, and just that was a back and forth game for the first quarter Friday, and then Concordia adjusted to what West Lafayette was doing, and West Lafayette did not adjust to what Concordia was doing. So very impressive regional championship for Concordia. Tough task for Garrett to be able to slow that offense down.
Garrett goes in as the underdog. Harold's actually has this as a 52-14 prediction.
Woo!
Whew, that's rough. If you're
I don't think it's that bad.
But I will say this on the flip side of that. On paper, last week's matchup was tougher. You go to number 2 Mishawaka Marion. You beat them on a last-second field goal. How does Garrett pull it out? How do they keep things going and keep that momentum rolling on Friday night when they're going to have a great home crowd? Everybody in Garrett supports that team.
Yeah, they're going to have to feed off the momentum. You mentioned it, a big crowd expected in Garrett on Friday night. They need to create some turnovers, score on some short fields, and get some bounces go their way. I really think that Concordia is going to have to come out not playing its best football to give Garrett a shot, and Garrett's going to be having to play very good football. So play a little bit of keep away, ride Cam Smith, ride Tanner Burns offensively. Try not to give Concordia too many opportunities with the football, and when you have opportunities to create a turnover or score on a special teams play or something, Garrett has to capitalize. 2
things that really impressed me about Garrett last week. The onside kick after they got a touchdown to tie it up in the third quarter. I mean, gutsy play.
Yeah.
They get it. They score a touchdown. They get the onside kick. Then they score another touchdown. I mean, they completely changed the momentum there, really just in a couple of plays. And also, we've seen good Garrett teams in the past, but they haven't really been proficient in airing out the football. Last week, Ben Purdy, Tanner Burns, they connect for 4 touchdowns in the air. This Garrett team can throw the football, perhaps why they've advanced this far. They can run it with Cam Smith, but they also have shown that they can throw the football. Yeah, but we don't talk about Ben Purdy too much, but he's been a tremendous asset for the football team. Also plays basketball for Garrett, so a dual threat in terms of athlete with football and basketball. But you mentioned it in terms of the multifaceted offense that Garrett can go with, and they're going to have to really keep Concordia on their heels and attack them in a variety of ways. You have to feel Garrett's playing with house money. Last week they just pull out all the stops, the onside kick like you mentioned. They're not going to hold anything back again on Friday. My question is it enough against a very good Concordia team? And when you look at Concordia, not only is the 62 points impressive that they put up, but only 27 points given up to West Lafayette. And really, some at the end that really, a touchdown at the end that really didn't matter all that much in the grand scheme of things. Peterson Curlegrand, he got off to a slow start. He was a little bit dinged up. 216 yards last week, 5 rushing touchdowns. Peter Morrison, so accurate, maybe the most accurate passing quarterback in all of Northeast Indiana this season. How do they try to stop what is such a versatile offense with those 2 guys and then Colton Grahovac, Mark Mallers? I mean, they've got so many weapons at Concordia. How does Garrett try to stop that? How does Concordia try to keep it going? I think that's the big question, because throughout this season, defenses have thrown a variety of things at Concordia, particularly in the SAC, and they've been able to handle all of them. You slow the running game down, and Peter Morrison's able to beat you vertically. You focus on shutting Peter Morrison down, they're able to move the ball on the ground. So with the exception of probably Snyder and maybe a little bit of Homestead, who those defenses were really able to limit Concordia, I'm not sure you can slow this offense down the way it's playing right now. I think you need to put pressure on Peter Morrison. Maybe Peterson Curlegrand and those wide receivers a little careless with the football. Maybe they put it on the ground a couple times. You need to recover those and score on the short field. I think those are the things that Garrett needs to hope for and execute on Friday to have a shot. Final question about this game. How do you see it playing out? Because, as I mentioned, Harold's has them as almost a 40-point favorite going into Friday night. How do you see this one playing out Friday at Garrett?
Garrett needs a quick start to hang around. And I think we saw it last week with West Lafayette, where they were able to score a couple touchdowns, and then they faded in the middle quarters while Concordia piled it on. Get Garrett in the game, keep that crowd in the game, keep them feeling positive. They've been very good in close games, Garrett has this year. We saw it at Cherubusco, we saw it last week in pulling out close games. The longer they're able to stay in that game, the longer they'll believe that they can compete and win, the longer that crowd stays engaged, and maybe Garrett can pull it off. But right now, I think it's Concordia.
All right.